So let's make a vegan ganache. Now, first off, what is a ganache? So a ganache is simply an emulsion. So it's taking two ingredients that are traditionally unmixable and being able to combine them together in a homogeneous manner. So to do this, we use some different methods, and sometimes other ingredients are also added to allow those unmixable ingredients to create that nice strong emulsion. So when we're making ganache, there is many types of chocolates that we can use to make ganache. The most classic being our dark chocolate, which we are using today. But you can also make ganache from milk chocolate or white chocolate. So of course you can find vegan alternatives, and depending on the chocolate that you choose, your ratios of cream and other ingredients will change depending on the type of texture that you're looking for. So a more fluid ganache is going to have a higher ratio of cream to chocolate, and then a firmer ganache is going to have less cream, more chocolate. So it's going to be really depending on your application. So making a ganache is very simple. In my saucepan here, I have my liquid component, which is cream today, which is the most classic addition to our ganache. So we're going to heat this until we bring it to the smoking point. So I'm just going to turn my heat on now, get that started. And to that, we're going to be adding some glucose syrup. Now, glucose syrup is going to help keep a strong emulsion and also give a great texture to our ganache. So just add that to your cream. And you can use any type of vegan cream that you like, from the simplest form of being coconut cream. That's something that you can buy very easily from your supermarket. Or you can use some more advanced or professional ingredients like the Flora plant from Upfield. So we're just going to give that a good mix. Now in my little jug here, I have my dark chocolate. Now when you are making a ganache, I do highly recommend that you use a curvature chocolate. And a curvature chocolate is a chocolate that has a higher inclusion of cocoa butter or cacao butter. And now this is going to give a very velvety and the correct texture that we're looking for when we're making our ganache. Now if you can't get curvature chocolate, you can substitute a little bit of your dark chocolate for some cocoa butter. So I can see my cream is starting to get to that smoke point. So we're basically just trying to get it just until it starts simmering, or you just start to see the first bubbles. So my cream has just reached the smoking point. I've just switched it off. Now I am making a small quantity today, so I'm just going to pour my cream directly over my chocolate. If you're starting to make large quantities of ganache, I do highly recommend that you melt your chocolate ahead of time, and you can do that over a bain-marie or simply in a microwave. We're going to let that hot cream and chocolate just sit there for a minute or so, just starting to melt that chocolate. So now we're going to blend our cream and chocolate and glucose syrup together, and I like to do that with an immersion blender. Now you want to try not to incorporate too much air, so once you get the head underneath the liquid, just give it a little shake, and we're going to blend it with the blades being under the surface, so we don't incorporate too much air. Once blended, just make sure you give it a good scrape around the sides just to ensure that everything is combined. Now we're going to set our ganache aside until it cools down to 37 degrees Celsius. So you can just take your thermometer and just give it a check, see what temperature it is now, and we can come back to it. So let's kind of have a look so we can kind of get an idea. So it's like at about 45 degrees right now. So we'll set that aside for about 15 minutes. It's quite cool in my kitchen right now, so it shouldn't take too long to cool down. And then once it's cooled, we're going to add our remaining ingredients. So our dark chocolate ganache has cooled down to 37 degrees Celsius, which means we can start incorporating our remaining ingredients. So this is optional, but if you would like to add some spirits, I'm using some rum today. And we're going to give this a blend just to combine that together. And now we're going to slowly add our vegan margarine, a little at a time, and just emulsify all of that together. So you just want to make sure you've got all those bits of vegan butter all combined. And I'm just going to scrape down the sides just to ensure that everything has been incorporated. So now just tap the base of your container, and that's going to bring any of those air bubbles to the surface. And we want to cover this with some cling wrap to contact. And we're going to leave this on our bench for at least 12 hours, 12 to 24 hours, for that chocolate to crystallize and for us to have that correct texture that we're looking for whichever purpose we are using our ganache for. So set that aside overnight on your bench, and then the following day your ganache will be ready to use.